Hey guys, how are you all? My name is Harshit Devedi, friends, and I welcome you back to my video. So in this video, friends, I will be talking to you regarding how earthquakes and tsunami occur. And in having a look at this, we will know what this focus is, epicenter is, and hypocenter is. Okay, friends. The video is already uploaded in Hindi. This is the English version. So if you want to watch the Hindi version, kindly go in the kindly follow the link in the description box below. Also, friends, if you want to follow me, this video is presented by me, Harshit Divedi. Then the link of my Instagram profile is given in the description box below. Now, first of all, have a look at what this epicenter and hypocenter are. See, friends, hypocenter is beneath the earth's surface and epicenter is on the earth's surface. The very first thing you need to know. Okay, now the origin of the earthquake is at this hypocenter, because hypocenter is the point within the earth where an earthquake rupture starts. Okay, friends, it is also known as focus. So hypocenter is also known as focus, and there the rupture will start. Rupture means that the movement of rocks, the release of the pent up pressure and energy will happen at this focus, will happen at this hypocenter. Suppose this is the transform fault, this line, and obviously the rock slides apart, this rock and this rock are sliding apart, so obviously the release of energy is at this point. So this becomes the hypocenter or focus of the earthquake. Now what is the epicenter, friends? Epicenter is a point on the earth's surface and it is directly above the hypocenter. Okay, so because whatever energy and waves are released is hypocenter, the very first point on the surface at which they will reach is the epicenter, because epicenter is just vertically above the hypocenter on the earth surface. So all the pressure waves, energy, earthquake waves, seismic waves of the earthquake which are produced at the hypocenter, the very first point on the surface they will reach is the epicenter. Okay, friends. Now, these were the hypocenter, epicenter, focus. Now, you know, hypocenter is also known as focus. We know the epicenter. Now, moving forward, friends. See, in order to understand completely why earthquakes and volcanoes come and tsunami come, we need to understand two things: seafloor spreading and plate tectonics. And in addition to this, I will tell you that please also watch the video on continental drift by Alfred Wagner. All of these have been made by me, friends, and most probably I will give the link in the description box below. If for chance I forget it, then you can search it on my channel. Okay, friends. So please watch the seafloor spreading videos, continental drift videos, plate tectonics video, and then come here. Now you know that the thickness of Earth's crust is around 5 to 70 kilometers, and the complete lithosphere is flowing on the asthenosphere. This I have told you in the layers of the Earth's video. So I have already made a lot of videos with respect to geography and geology. So please watch them in order to have a complete picture of this thing. So this Earth crust and the upper part of the mantle, which forms the complete lithosphere, this is floating on the molten asthenosphere. This asthenosphere is the part of mantle. Okay, and because of the convectional current going on into the mantle, that convectional current, when it rises, it breaks apart the plates, and therefore a lot of tectonic plates have been formed, which I have told you in the tectonic plates theory. Okay, so there are different pieces of tectonic plates, and at the boundaries of those tectonic plates, whatever interactions are taking place at the boundaries of these tectonic plates, they give rise to faults, and these faults are responsible for all the activities like volcanoes, earthquakes, tsunamis, and things like that. And these rocks slide past one another. The tectonic plates, actually what happens, friends, that rocks are joined, they have combined themselves, they have interlocked themselves. Okay, now what is, friends, that along the transform faults, the crust is moving, the plates are moving, so the energy is there, the push of energy is there, and that push of energy sometimes make the pressure energy that much that that interlocking of the rocks gets breaked up. And when the interlocking of the rocks gets breaked up, a fault comes into play. Then what happens, a lot of pressure and energy is released, and that pressure and energy is released in all the directions. Okay, so despite, fault boundaries are locked together, despite of that there is stress at some sensitive points. This stress breaks apart, and that makes the crust to break apart. And when those rocks break apart, their interlocks gets disruptured, it gets ruptured. Then when that lock get ruptured, a lot of pressure and energy is released at that point, and that point is the hypocenter. That point is the focus at which the pressure and energy is released in all directions. And the very first point on the earth surface where that energy will reach is the epicenter, because epicenter is directly vertically above the hypocenter. Okay, friends. So this is written here: an earthquake occurs when the pressure built along a fault becomes stronger than the pressure holding the rocks together. Then the rocks on either side of the fault suddenly rip apart, sometimes at supersonic speed. So they just rip apart. A lot of pent up energy and pressure is released, and that pressure for the very first time reaches at the epicenter. Okay. Now moving forward, friends. This pent up pressure is released, a lot of energy is released, and that is felt in the form of an earthquake on the earth's surface. You know, friends, when I will be telling you the classification of seismic waves, so in that I will tell you primary waves, surface waves. Now primary waves and secondary waves. Now primary waves and secondary waves are sub classification of body waves. Now when we are going to classify the waves, seismic waves, there are many types of seismic waves. So important ones are body waves and surface waves. Surface waves are two types: Rayleigh waves, love waves. So Rayleigh waves and love waves cause a lot of destructions on the earth's surface, but that classification I will be telling in this video. And when a large earthquake occurs because of the rupture at the hypocenter, after that many aftershocks comes, because of this large earthquake the interlocking of rocks gets ruptured, and after that the rocks needs to interlock themselves again, and for that many aftershocks comes, and these aftershocks can also be many a times destructive. Now this is the mechanism of how earthquakes comes, how tsunami comes, friends. Whatever this thing that I have told you below the land, when this happens below the oceanic crust, then tsunami comes. Now see, friends, when see, suppose at the Nepal India border, suppose the earthquake comes, so obviously that is happening beneath the earth. The hypocenter is beneath the land. But when the hypocenter is beneath the oceanic crust, then obviously whatever energy is released, that energy will go to the water. And when that energy will go to the water, obviously water movement will be there, and that water movement will come out in the form of tsunami waves. And underwater landslides also cause tsunami. However, whatever will be the intensity of tsunami will depend upon the amount of energy released there. Okay, so that will decide the intensity of tsunami. In a separate video, friends, I have told you that why the tsunami waves become so heighter, so longer, okay, when they reach the shore, the coast. So that I will be telling in a separate video, friends. So whenever this phenomenon of rupturing at the hypocenter happens beneath the oceanic crust, this triggers the tsunami. Okay, hypocenter epicenter is the same thing that I have told you, and when this is happening below the land surface, it brings an earthquake. So I hope this video was clear to you, friends. If you have any doubts, you can all in the description box below. If you like this video, please like this video, subscribe to my channel. Please tell me through your comment section how you like this video. Goodbye.